Hello, and welcome to Hero Shack Chronicles.
Hi.
I always wanted to use that.
What? Use what?
That 30-second video. You didn't see it?
Yeah, I did. Well,
What? Did I lose you?
No. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I'm using my new system, so I had to adjust the volume a little.
Yeah. I just opened up the Facebook area so I could keep an eye on who pops in there. And yeah.
We got 30 minutes, so we got to blitz the viewers. Even though we may only have a few right now, there could be replays, and I don't know where you want to go with this. So I'm going to start.
Okay.
You're not like ready for me quite yet.
I am. I gotta get my lights on.
There we go. All right, so we're just looking at a couple of sketches that are going into developing the new Cyclopian comic. This is one of my favorite here. This is a 2-page spread. It started off with this guy alone and then evolved into this one. You can see the numerical order that goes along with the concept. This is one that I dropped, but it had some interesting stuff of a guy going to get sandwiches in a deli. I just felt that wasn't cool enough. This is a gym scene.
You're funny.
You can actually kind of see Cyclopian in the upper left sitting on a bench being examined by Tim. Tony and the chick are talking over here. I don't really have a name for her. I do, but I don't remember it. She's not a very important character. She's a sideline character.
Jace is in, he said hi on Facebook.
Hey, Jace.
Just
listen, if anybody wants to join, we can share the link. We're being cautious. We're not just throwing it out into the general public anymore. So if you give me a second, I'll just pop onto Facebook. I'll share it with Jace. If he wants to get in, he's more than welcome.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Jace is my son, and he is an artist himself. And let's see if I can find him. There he is. I'll just shoot him a link. And, you know, no pressure, son. But if you want to join, there it is. Right. Anyways, we're back in Cyclopian. Yes, this is something I've been sharing on social networking. I haven't told anybody much about Cyclopian.
Right.
He has appeared in the Hero Shack series for 2 years. He's getting his solo series, but this is the definitive story about Cyclopian. And this is just some of the artwork. Most of this you might already have seen. I'm probably going a little too fast for some people, but we do only have 30 minutes. So because these are things that have been shown already, I'm kind of moving along. I think that might have been all I had the week before. Now, this one is interesting because I'm debating on some of this page. I may be redoing some of this page, but you'll see because I've taken more time. I can go
Which I really, really like. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. It does work out better.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Now we're getting into newer stuff that I've shared on social media, but not on the show.
I haven't seen it. I don't think, have I? No, I haven't. I know I have.
Yeah, you have. If you saw the script, you'd go, oh, yeah, I have.
But they were not colored in. I think they were just sketches at that point.
That's quite possible, yeah. And then we're getting into, here we go. This is new stuff that you really haven't seen. Actually, I didn't include the other page because it's not ready, I believe. But some of this stuff you've seen. Yeah. Cyclopian and the bus.
Oh, the bus. I've seen that one, yeah.
The very first view of Forevertron.
That, yeah. I kind of like that name. I think that's cool.
You've never seen
it? I have not seen this. I haven't seen that. No.
Yes, this is a world premiere live on Hero Shack Chronicles.
So is this just something you've thrown together? Are you going to do a little more work on him?
Oh, no.
Completed?
His story is such, it's tropish and it's very cool. And I'm not changing it. I'm running with it. And
oh God, is it another one of those things that Jace has to get kind of involved in?
Well, naturally,
I'm not. I'm
I'm gonna
not
let
putting my. You're so funny.
I'm gonna let Jace have a swing at it, of course, and
Okay.
check it out. But
All right.
what I mean is, I need a story for Cyclopian to be able to be moved forward,
Mm-hmm.
and Forevertron is going to be part of that story.
I kind of like that name. I
Well,
don't
do you
know if
remember?
it's something you've
Do you remember the
decided
concept?
on. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in a brief, Forevertron is basically trying to protect the remnants of a family whose lord and whatever you want to call him, the grandfather, the major guy, has
Yes.
passed away, and in the action of caring for this family, trying to defend it, he's actually become a nuisance and locked them in their own home.
Right.
And Cyclopian will be involved in trying to get them out of that situation. And I don't want to give too much out about Forevertron.
I don't think you should.
I want him to unfold. But yeah, that's the general gist. So it's going to be more or less Captain Santos driving him to the location, and they're going to check it out. Remember, Cyclopian is new to the superhero world. In this rendition, in this multiverse version, if you will, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
he's just coming of age. He's just graduated from high school. He's just endured his first leaps and bounds into training, and this is like his first case. Hello, Jace.
Hello, Jace.
I love
Please
the
excuse
headgear,
the-
brother.
Thank you. It's the PS5 headset, but it
Nice.
works well on everything with the USB port.
Nice.
Please excuse the messy office. I don't know if you can tell, I purposely have the lights off so it's not as visible. We're tearing up the carpet and putting in the new wood floor.
Nice. That's
But we're
awesome.
only about halfway there. So
The laminate floor, Chase? Laminate or real hardwood?
it's the clipboard, like the
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
I called it laminate and I was corrected and told it's manufactured lumber. And I said, okay.
Thank you.
It's not real wood, I didn't think, but
That's okay.
Is that like pleather, or is it real wood that's been like press board or something?
so it's gray.
So it's like the hot dogs of wood.
Is it like what we did for the bathroom downstairs, that kind of stuff? It clicks together. No, mine was more vinyl. Mine was vinyl. Yours is wood.
Oh, I bet you he's actually got a real piece.
Yeah,
he
it's
does. Oh yeah, it's wood.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
looks like this. It's got some texture. It's very thin though. You can cut it with your circular saw, or you can even score it with a knife and just crack it over your knee.
That's exactly what we have for Larissa. That's what we put in for Larissa. It's a little bendy, a little bit. Yeah.
That's exactly what they use in Florida too. Most times they have a thicker one too, but nothing like they use up here.
Yeah.
Well, the stuff we bought claims to be waterproof, so we figured if there's any pet accidents, it's not devastating.
True.
It's easy to install, which is great because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, Jace, were you listening to the little Cyclopian stuff I was sharing?
I was listening to a bit, and then I tried to sign in on Safari. Remembered that Safari doesn't work, so I had to get my Chrome going, and then I had to reset my Facebook password.
Holy cow.
So I signed off on my phone so that I could focus on that, so I missed a little bit of it. I saw Forevertron.
Very soon, I'll be sending you a proof, just like Diana, of like the first half of the book.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's a lot of interesting things there. Like I've recreated the character Captain Aura from my childhood, which was inspired from my childhood best friend, and I haven't been able to contact him. So, it's an inspiration. I didn't do everything exactly to it. It's more like if you understand the difference between the MCU Falcon and the comic book Falcon. It's more an update of the character and a different, slightly different perception of the character. For instance, Falcon in the comic was a superhero in spandex with a literal red-winged falcon that flew on his back, and he had like glider wings, And the MCU Falcon is like a completely different kind of character. Not that that's bad in any way, but I'm kind of updating the old Captain Aura character to be the mentor of Cyclopian in the first arc of his adventures. And I'm excited because when I post stuff, I get these little comments that are very encouraging from people that I didn't even know were aware of me. So
I like you posted the panels for Cyclopian being found. Let me
yes,
see if I can find it again.
with the little Cyclopian baby's head sticking out.
Yeah, I thought that was really cute.
I did too.
He's going to have a touch of that through his whole series, I hope, where he's kind of his character is more or less Boy Scout, nice guy. And in the real world, of course, we all know how that blends, and there'll be a lot of tropes in that. And I call them tropes because to me they seem obvious, but to the reader they may not be. But to me, there's so many ways to play with this character that are fun but meaningful.
I really like the idea of establishing him as like a personable creature that you would like before he's this obscure alien thing. You're like, oh yeah, it's that freaky thing, but he helps us, like
Right.
giving him some charm and personality and letting people warm up to him first.
And honestly,
up pretty well.
Cyclopian has always he's always been presented that way. Even when we were first at the Comic Cons, Cyclopian was one of our biggest sellers as far as like the pinups your dad did, and people were very interested in that. I had people come up and tell us, over the years that they would love to create a full-size Cyclopian costume for us. I actually have the guy's name. He was sincere. He gave me his name and everything. He said, when you're ready, contact me. Just so like they can walk around like Comic Cons and stuff. It's a great marketing tool.
Yeah.
And so I think that is where we're going to start putting a lot of our focus.
I'm waiting to get commissioned to do a Cyclopian variant cover.
There you go. You were looking for commissions, honey.
You know what?
We can do that.
To be honest, I am considering commissioning a short 3 to 5 page story for Baby Cyclopian, because I think that's an exploitable character. The Baby Cyclopian can do so many cute little things. Like the way his power set works, he's completely invincible if he sees it coming. So in other words, like when you flinch because you see a punch coming, your muscles tense and everything, his gets so tense that he can literally deflect like bullets and stuff. However, if you catch him from behind, he's more vulnerable.
I worry about that from the baby angle because they don't know that anything is dangerous. Like the way he learns that fire is hot is because he's a baby and he touches the hot stove, and then from then on he's like, oh yeah, I can do that now. But also, let me tell you about the time I didn't know and I walked off the end of the table.
I had a vision of his discovering his invincibility when he like falls down the stairs head first.
Yeah.
And doesn't get hurt. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I was just thinking if he's a literal baby in this scene, babies do all sorts of stuff because they don't know any better, and it's like gotta watch out for the baby because he's not smart enough to not jump off the second story window. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
He's like, oh, cool, a bird.
If I can add my 2 cents in about Cyclopian, I think the way he eats, which is supposed to be horrific, but your dad will never let that out. So it leads us to imagine how is Cyclopian eating? Like we know by the other characters in the story that are watching him eat that it's really weird and bizarre, and there's some dialogue about it, but we never get to see him. And there's that kind of suspense that I really enjoy in the Cyclopian story as your dad is telling it. I'm very excited about that. So when you get a chance, when he sends you the proof, and you get a chance to read it, and I said to him, his writing has tightened up so much from that very, very first book that he did.
Oh, even these 6 panels, I was like, oh, there's so much storytelling between the 6 of them, and you don't need every little step in between, but also it's showing, not telling, and it's like, oh yeah, you can see
the coolest part when you see the dialogue that does go along with it is really attached to the meeting, not to what you're seeing. So like a lot of the story, there's exposition there, but I try to flow it through like some action sequences and some flashes into the back to the meeting. Like when you see the woman grab her mouth and get up, it's because
is this thing not final? Like there's going to be text with that eventually?
There is text with that.
Okay, because I was looking at it like this and I was like, wow, I love this. It's so just like, here are the shots and like it carries the story really well.
So maybe he doesn't need dialogue there.
I'll let you know when I see the dialogue if I think it adds or detracts, because right now I thought that was such a great page.
Well, I was surprised. I posted that on Twitter and got a couple of great responses. So I'm really excited by that, you know, because we haven't even really announced the book yet. I'm only teasing that I'm doing one. And I want to keep it that way. Like, I don't want to start the campaign till the book is either 90% or 100% done, like somewhere in that range.
Right.
Because I just hate the idea of stretching out campaigns. I hate it.
The way that you do your campaigns is actually really great. When I had mentioned to Kyle that you were, you know, talking about the next campaign, he was like, did he even make Cluster Fudge yet? And I was like, oh yeah, the way Dad does it, he like makes the whole book and then gets funding.
Yeah.
Which is great, because a lot of people are like, well, if you give me enough money, then I'll start working on this thing that I want.
So for us, that
drives me nuts too.
That's
it's a terrible way to do business.
And hopefully it's going to be one of the things that people will be, people will appreciate with Hero Shack. Hey, Lorenzo.
I think,
my brother.
I think it's one of the things I appreciate about your version of crowdfunding over I usually hate crowdfunding is a lot of the time it's like, well, if we can get to $10,000, then I'm going to do more than the first 2 pages of this idea I have. And I'm like, well, so you're asking me to put money down on something that you might make and you're not really sure what the product is and you're going to kind of work. Because that's what happens with like games that I want to crowdfund where they're like, well, if we can get to $30,000, then we'll sign on an artist. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money before you even start to develop the game.
Yeah, you know, in crowdfunding with comics, there have been a lot of nightmares. I just wanted, you know, if I'm doing it, I'm not doing it because I need the money to make the book. I'm doing it because I want to offer a package that's really cool. I can build up enthusiasm. And I like the 30-day short fund, you know, just boom, if I can get $500, that's 30 books out the door that, you know, I know people are getting them. And if it grows from there, great. But now, like, if I'm promoting myself in the conventions, which I want Diana to start talking about in a few minutes, I can say, you know, from the creator of Hero Shack, you know, Last of the Reapers and Cluster Fudge comes Cyclopian. You know, like now I'm building a little library there that when people look, it's not just the kid who's got that really weird looking Hero Shack 1, which I love to death. Don't get me wrong. But without a doubt, I love the newer stuff much more than I love the older stuff in a different way.
Well, it's understandable.
The quality is different, and I'm getting into so many new techniques.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Lorenzo, you're absolutely right. A comic is someone who goes on stage and tells jokes. Now, a comic book is where you actually take the impressions of a comic and you put it on paper. You squeeze his face into ink and put it on pages. And
stop picking on him. Did you give him the thing so he can join us, or you keep?
Yes, I sent it over to Facebook. Oh yeah. By the way, I'm only sending them through Facebook because, again, we are trying to thwart any pornographic takeovers of our stream.
Did you have an incident?
God Chat 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh,
you did not hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we've taken precautions because of it.
It was probably the worst stream / chat room I have ever been in.
Now, Jace, when I say porn, I don't mean like, oh, look at the pretty girl kissing the guy. Oh, her boob is showing. It was disgusting.
This was not porn. This was sick. This was something.
Yeah, it was terrible. Like, not even funny terrible. It was just like the dude needed, like,
We don't have
Yeah,
to
it was bad.
refresh it.
I don't
That's
want
all
to
you
say
after.
too much. Yeah, it was just bad.
I don't want to give any attention if that person should be watching or see, whatever.
Yeah.
So
But
from
that's
now
why I had to
on,
send the link the way I did. So I hope you guys understand out there.
Yeah.
I do love a live line. I do love letting people in, but until we can figure out a way, my thought is we need better security so we can't be net botted, and we need some sort of delay.
So Dad was
like
net botted.
network
So
use delay.
literally, he's in charge of the stream.
What is it?
So like
Net botted?
yeah, so they kicked him out. The net bots kicked him out, but the stream, nobody else would close the stream off, and all these horrific things were coming through. And
He was able to share stuff on the
share
screen.
stuff. Yeah, it was weird. It was so weird. And me and Katie, one of our little friends from town, she was on, and we had a couple other guys that were in. So we had at least 4 people watching, and then there were people watching on YouTube and Facebook. So it was pretty bad. Hello, Lorenzo.
Hey, what's a netbot? Is that one of those things?
I don't even know. I Googled it, and it's like such an obscure term. So I don't know what the guy did, but I do know that he was able to kick Diana and I out and take control of our stream.
Did he call it a netbot or something?
Yeah, he did. He actually, because I have a recording of the stream because I downloaded it, cut his section off, and re-uploaded it. I was like, no, we had a pretty good conversation about God. I'm not going to take it down just because this.
Well, Lorenzo PI is on the case.
Well,
unfortunately, I don't have any qualifications, but
you are green
on that topic. But
green is very important, Lorenzo.
Gosh, I don't even know. Like, maybe some of my friends, and I got some friends who are like into like IT. But you're into IT. Aren't you?
I'm just not that deep into it. I'm like, wow, that blew me away. I thought I was secure on StreamYard. I had to write them a nasty letter.
I really like your IT background. It's bringing me back to Mega Man X on Super Nintendo, where they do the thing where they show the interior of X.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you commented on your dad's new background. He was very excited about it. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm hearing some echoing.
Who is it? Is it me?
It might be me.
It could be any of us, actually. Though I'm using this really tiny Chromebook, so I doubt it's me.
Well, I have a brand new setup because I got a new Mac Mini. I have a new microphone coming, so the old microphone is still here, which is kind of shoddy. I am using my iPhone as a camera now, which I think has a really good picture, especially compared to the iMac. The iMac is actually, you're on the iMac, right, Chase?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's weird. The color's a little warmer. Like I'm going straight through StreamYard, and it's giving me a little bit more flesh tone. Because I know you're not ghost white compared to me. You know what I mean? You're a healthy white.
I mean, I might be.
He's got a dark t-shirt on.
And you're in a dark room with white, screen light on you.
Yeah.
I have like warm yellow light in the room. And
here, I can show you real quick. Hey Google, turn on Office. This is why the light is off. Nope, I said on. Hey Google, turn on Office.
Oh boy.
There she goes. Ooh.
So we've got to get our dump sticker so I can load up. Oh, well, I need to go get a new battery because my car is dead too. I can charge it, but it doesn't stay charged. So I need a new battery. Then we've got to get a dump sticker. Then we've got to load this stuff up and bring it to the dump. But we probably should just wait until we
finish it.
Because right now, the new floor is here. Yeah. We've got to rip up all of this.
Yeah. And what are you doing, piece by piece?
What's that?
You're doing the floor little by little, like you're getting the carpet up and putting the floor down?
Yeah, well, because it was in my office, and it was like, well,
what do I do?
I actively use it almost every evening. Like, I got to... Yeah. So we started with the workout stuff in the cat area. This bookcase has been falling apart the past 2 moves that we've done, so we're going to pick out a new bookcase, burn this one, and then bring the rug up more.
Right. That's good, though. That's a smart way to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Diana,
Yeah.
convention updates.
Oh, yes. So, guys, it is April going into May within the next couple of weeks. And that means that summertime is coming and we are pretty booked. Really for the month of July. I'm looking right now at the list, starting on July 17th, which is Saturday, we will be at the Plastic City Comic Con in Fitchburg. It's a one-day show, 10 to 6. Then we are going to hop on over to the Springfield Comic Con on July 24th.
Time out.
What?
Plasticcon is really cool. I just want to say for anybody watching, Keith Gleason, what's his name? Gleason?
Yep.
Creator of the Mighty Mascots on Alternate Comics, runs that show. And I am so excited because 2 years ago, I kind of went in as a customer and didn't care for it because I wanted to be a vendor so badly. I was like so upset I couldn't be part of it.
You whined the whole time.
And I can't wait till I get to join it this time. I'm so excited. But go on, honey.
Gee, thank you. So on July 24th, I'm just going to put tape over his mouth when it's my turn to talk. July 24th, we're going to Springfield Comic Con. It's their very first Comic Con. It was supposed to happen last year, but due to COVID, it did not. So we are attending that. It's a one-day show. I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing what they have to offer. Then the next show that we're going to is another first-time show for us, but it's the Terrificon at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. It's our most expensive show. We've never attended. We've always looked at attending, and at that point, the budget didn't allow for us to do it. So it's, again, a new show for us. It's huge. It's a 3-day show, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will be there all 3 days. I think we're going up Thursday night. He does not know this yet. Christopher, who's waving his hand like an idiot. Stop already. You asked me to present these things, and then, yes, you're going to be able to talk.
Just want to say that I just want to say that, like, Jace, if you and Kay want to come up to Mohegan Sun, it's probably going to be a good time. That's like a party place.
No.
Hold on. I got to hear it again. What? Oh, well, I'm old. I don't really like to party. I like to be home and wear sweatpants.
Jason's Geeks, how much of a party do you think it's going to be?
It's your father.
It's me. It's your father.
Hey, geeks get a lot weirder than people would expect.
Actually, the Comic Con, we haven't gone to the last two. Like, the only one that we have gone to is really the Plasticcon one, and the one in Manchester, the Granite State. Did I even get to that? Oh, no, that's in September. I haven't gotten to September yet. For the Mohegan one, Terrificon, Jace, I'll just send them to you. We have a bunch of them.
I was going to say, I'll have to check the official Hero Shack touring list.
Yes, exactly. It hasn't been updated yet.
Is the Mohegan Sun? Is that the casino?
Yes. Yes.
I think we talked about that before.
Yes, we are going to be at
they're
at the casino. Well, not inside the casino, obviously, in one of their rooms. But we're going to stay right there at the place where the Comic Con is being hosted, because I found that's the easiest way to do it when you have a 2 or 3 day event. This will be our first 3-day event. So I don't really know.
Well,
this year. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done 3 days before.
Mm-hmm. But these are 3 full days. Like Friday, it's from 1 to 10, I believe. It's a long day.
That's very exciting. Jace, seriously, if you ever want to come out and see what it's like, it's so much fun to shuck books at these places. But what's really interesting is we have no idea how much stock we need to hold, because we don't know how the crowds are going to be coming out.
I have to really, I've got to really figure that out.
Before we hit a 3-day show, we have a smaller show, don't we?
Yeah, the very first one is in Fitchburg. It's the Plasticcon.
We should get a good idea.
Saturday. Yeah. Fitchburg. It's right up at the Wallach Civic Center there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. It's like a $5, might be a little bit more, $5 entry fee. A lot of local artists, a lot of there weren't a lot of big names, I don't think, Chris, when we went that one year.
It depends what you consider a big name. To me, the place was full of indie creators that I wanted to know or did know. You know, it's exciting. It's a very
lot of
community. Yeah, like I think Alterna was about the biggest company there.
Yeah.
But they were represented, of course, by the mascots and whatever other projects that they brought down, and they always have multiples.
Yeah. So then, and we do have one that I wanted to point out. Let's see.
Northeast
the
Comic Con?
Granite. Yeah, I've got two others. This one's in September. Granite Con. That's in Manchester. It's a Saturday to Sunday affair.
Is that my favorite hotel?
Yes, that's your favorite show, your favorite hotel that we went to last year or the year before.
Yep, the year before.
And then the last one we have booked for the year is in November, and it's the Northeast Comic Cons in Boxborough. We've gone to that a couple of times. It's a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of these shows are going to look like in the pandemic. I don't really know, but we are booked.
We don't even know if they're actually going to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the states have been known to pull the licenses out at the last moment, but
well, we also are going to the Kids Con next June in 2022. They did not offer a show this year, or the one they offered was in Maine, and I didn't want to travel to Maine in the middle of the winter, so I opted to go to the following year. So this is a show that we were supposed to attend in 2020. But we postponed it to 2021, and then the only location they were having it up in our area was in Maine, and it was in the winter. I'm like, I don't want to go to Maine in the winter, for a one-day show.
I'm surprised that the Cherry Capital Comic Con here in Traverse City, Michigan. I'm surprised that it's in October. I mean, like, who wants to come to Traverse City in the middle of freaking October?
I know.
It's going to be chilly.
That is true. That's a
Traverse
good point.
City, honey. Can you look that up and see if they got any tables?
We have like this cherry. We have a cherry festival and a film festival that are in the summertime. I thought it would be then.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've never gone to it. It's only been around since I think it's been around since like 2018, but I've never been to it before. And thinking, oh, that'd be pretty cool. Now and I realize, oh, it's in October. Crap.
It is. You know what's so funny?
I don't exactly even like leaving my house much.
Listen, it's not only in October, but it's October 31st. It's October 29th through October 31st at the Grand Traverse.
Who wants to miss Halloween
Resort? Well, that's what I mean.
Oh, that's owned by a casino. That's owned by the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians.
Wow.
They've got a casino, Turtle Creek Casino nearby, and
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So with this KidCon coming, we really need to do some kid books.
I'm working on that.
Maybe
I really
Cyclopian.
Yeah, maybe.
Cyclopian.
I mean, I've got some ideas I want to kick around too. I know I have my deadline is next year, but
well, the idea would be that the artwork could be much simpler in terms of, when you start talking kids, you can do something as simple as Wimpy, story of a Wimpy, the diary of a Wimpy kid. I don't want art that simplistic, obviously, but there's no doubt that the audience will accept a much lower grade of art.
Right.
In terms of detail.
Wimpy Kid is a lot more text than it is image.
True.
Wimpy Kid is more like the fourth, fifth grade level.
Image. Like Kid Cyclopian, okay, I'm going to sound a little weird maybe. Well, maybe not. This is really the good stuff. He could teach a lot of moral lessons, built into his stories. And I'm kind of compelled by the fact that he is ASL. He doesn't actually speak. Now, I'm learning some ASL, but I really need to learn the whole language because I'm getting symbols online, like things that guys are doing in videos. I'm trying to emulate in a still frame of just one segment of what he's saying.
Right.
Well, hey, don't worry. You won't be able to do that even if you do know it. A lot of that relies on the motion. Like,
no,
so
I know
you
got
swoop with your pinky, but it's like how.
So all you can really
I guess
do
you
is
could do that with like an
capture it.
action level.
You can capture like a moment and kind of do a speed line. But at some point, I want to be able to look at a comic book reader who's deaf and say, hi, how are you? And actually be able to sign it without looking like an idiot. And I know it can be done. I know people dumber than me have learned ASL, so I can do it too. I just have to buckle down and find a good coach for it.
Yeah, it helps to learn from someone that knows it and not exclusively through apps and reading and stuff.
Right.
Which is like any other language where it's like, yeah, I could read about how to do this, but I don't know that I'm doing it right until somebody that is familiar goes, no, whatever you're doing there is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's
turn the entire ASL alphabet into like each and every symbol, I believe, now represents some white nationalist thing.
Oh well, I'm there.
As a hoax.
The problem with the white nationalist thing is, depending on how fanatical you get, everything is white nationalist.
Well, that's the thing. I think maybe as long as I think if you just skip the okay gesture, which should be okay, but if you have to skip it now, because I think it finally did turn into some sort of thing where now people kind of wonder if you use it, what you meant.
Well, it's
I don't
funny.
think white nationalists would use ASL because. What's that?
Okay is one of the ones in sign language. I forget what it means, but it's part of a sign. I was illustrating one of them, and it actually had an okay symbol in one of the hands.
Well, and I'm just thinking no true white nationalist would actually learn ASL because that would require caring about someone else and putting effort into something that benefits somebody other than yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this person was just a troll, and I don't think all those other symbols caught on, just the okay gesture. And I don't, I probably 9 times out of 10, I would guess it'd just be somebody trolling someone using it,
Well, and that same gesture when I was in high school was I'm going to do it down by my leg, and if you look, I get to punch you in the arm thing. So I'm like, I don't know what the etymology of this is, because I see it and I'm like,
that's the funny thing about race, things these days, because sometimes I hear stuff and I'm like, okay, whatever, Like I heard Bucky was a term for an old term for a slave, and that's where the name came from. And I'm like, I don't know about that. All I know is that was the name they gave Winter Soldier in the 40s. Like
well, that would
they
make
obviously
sense, he was a slave to Hydra. I wonder if that was like some. Hold on, now I'm curious.
Hard to tell.
Actually, Jay said you can probably piece together some good story piece there.
So guys, I just want to let you know that I checked out the cherrycapitalcon.com. I looked at it. The ticket prices are very reasonable, I might add. They're like $25 for the whole weekend. They don't really have much other on there. Like you couldn't see who was going. I was looking at like an Artist Alley application because I was curious to see what it would cost. They didn't have that available, so I did check it out.
This is a major tourist center. However, most people come in here in the summer. I don't know if they come that time of year or not. I mean,
but we do have to start
downstate.
We do have to start expanding though beyond New England.
I do know
of one New Jersey.
I know of one comic artist who came up here from down, but I think maybe she's from downstate.
Mm.
I mean, somebody I follow on Facebook actually came up here.
And
see, Lorenzo, this is the one way my wife will get me to travel outside New England is to go, honey, there's a show. We're going to go. It's 2 days. It's a 3-day weekend for us, babe. Let's go. And that's how I'll do it.
It's the only way I can go anywhere with my husband.
It could be, it could have quite a few people attending. Though this is, these last 2 years have been kind of odd. It's, with the unpleasantness.
Ask my wife. We used to go to, oh gosh, help me with the name, honey. Holy Moly Comics. Out in, where was it?
Mohawk Trail. What are you talking about?
We used to go out there, and attendance was not guaranteed. And at least one of the shows, there were like 3 people who showed up to see us. And I was so happy because I got to see 3 people. That's the thing about the shows.
So were the only people, was it 3 people specifically showed up to see you guys, or did 3 people go to the booth?
No, 3 people came to the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like an outdoor event thing. And there were like, I think 4 vendors, and we all sat there for like 8 hours a day talking. We all bought stuff
off each other. That was really cool.
Well, considering we have a comedy festival, a film festival, a cherry festival, and this comic book festival.
We've grown up since then.
Yeah, but
I would imagine quite a few people attend because this place is getting known for festivals. It's kind of like how South Park had an episode about how they ended up with a film festival and a bunch of yuppies started pouring in.
But I gotta let it be
Yeah.
known that if Holy Moly ever does another live event, I do want to be there. I had a lot of fun at those. That's where we met Keith Gleason of the Mighty Mascots for the first time. And
that's really cool. And I'm saying it's just a bunch of, I'm not slamming any yuppies or whatever. I was talking about like the joke about the film festival and stuff like. But even that's, that was a fun thing.
I just love meeting people that show interest in comics.
Yeah,
and,
I think this might be a really great.
Well, my confidence level is higher
than
it was last time we were out too. The last time we were out, I hadn't done any of the new stuff, and COVID hadn't yet hit, and it's just going to be exciting to get back out there.
We also have a great comic book store. I haven't gone to the current location, but it was one where you could actually go in and they'd be playing like a comic book, like a superhero film in the background, which I think is a really good way to get people interested in comics.
I've always liked comic book shops like that where you go in and they actually live the culture. It's not just like Walden Books where they have a comic book section. Do they even have Walden Books anymore?
You could talk to.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know if that shut down. I know Border shut down. But yeah, this guy, the guy. Well, I guess there were a couple guys that I'd interact with there, and when I used to go to the comic book shop, and they were really helpful. You could ask them about the different comics, and they knew about what was going on with. What was going on with the X-Men and the two different teams, or what was going on with, any.
Yeah, there would be somebody following the book that could tell you about
it. And then they have some like really cool like indie comics. Like one was about one of the discount bin ones was about Tanya Harding, I believe. For in case somebody doesn't know about it, Tanya Harding was she like a figure skater, and she had hired somebody to go and whack her opponent in the knee. That
was real life
like
too. I remember that. Kerrigan. Nancy
Kerrigan it was. Yeah. Because there's probably a lot of people who are like, who the heck's Tanya Harding? Because
we're old and we remember those people. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Like Jay said, he doesn't even know what Walden Books was.
I have no idea.
You've been in a Walden Books.
Sure.
I'm positive. I took you there when you were like 4, 5, 6, because I used to go there to get like books that I needed for my art self, because I was going through an art self period where I thought I would be an artist, and then I didn't have the luxury or the blessing of having a Diana. And your mom was great for what your mom was, but she wasn't exactly like. Well, she wasn't Diana, and she didn't know how to say no, Chris. Keep trying. Diana knows how to motivate me.
Yep.
That was on cue, babe. Not a bit of delay.
Listen.
I wish somebody would motivate you to go on more streams to promote your stuff, because
I have an essay due for class tomorrow, and I'm working all day and I can't get to it. So I have to write about in my creative writing class, basically what it's going to be like in the real world if I were to become a professional writer, which I'm not going to even tackle that.
No, see, I need you to write scripts for this young.
No. So I'm giving my my thoughts on why I wouldn't become a professional writer and why I love to write, and so that I have to get this done and post it. But I'm listening to you guys. Are having a great conversation. It's it's
so
good.
Are you thinking of me being more like a semi-pro hobbyist writer? Like,
I want to take the word pro out of it and just say it's a good hobby and I love doing it. It brings me joy. It fills my heart. And I'm going to have my husband illustrate some of my books. He doesn't know it yet, but now I said that. And then we're going to try to get it, put under like an independent under our Chronicles.
Oh, very cool.
That's my goal to do that. And I'm targeting
full time then.
There are 3 things that I want to really, 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 really do. Like my 3 goals are to write a children's book, to put a book of poetry together. And the third one is to really write a story with Chris. Like right now, he does all the writing, and I just stop and I just edit it and give suggestions. But I think it would be really cool if we sat down together and wrote a script. The problem with that, and I've already can see this, is that he overpowers me. When I talk, he makes all kind. He doesn't just listen to me talk. Have you guys ever noticed that? Like he's like a little 5-year-old. He needs the attention.
If you guys only knew how hard it is for me, I actually, believe it or not, have learned to bite my tongue, in my opinion, over the last 10 years. And you guys still are aware of it. That tells me that I'm still not doing a great job of it. But there are times where I'm like, and you guys will be talking, and I just so want to jump in, but I don't.
And the problem with that is because he tells me that I never talk enough. He always says that you don't talk enough.
You constantly get that you don't talk.
And then when I do, that's what I get. I'm like, and then this is what I get. Like,
but I'm sure he's greatly improved over when you first met.
He has greatly improved. I've shaped him and molded him more. No, he has.
I wish to eat. I must silence my tongue.
We don't have to have a Christmas bench anymore, so we've been
No.
subscribed.
Yes, we did something right, huh, Chase? Okay,
I know I have a really hard time understanding what people are saying or what I read, or I have a hard time with comprehension. I don't know if Chris has the same issue.
No, I was just an asshole.
Oh.
No, and
or if you have kind of like ADD or something.
No. Okay, so Lorenzo, honestly, he often has times with perception of social situations. So like if he goes somewhere, he may come out thinking this is the way what they meant, but in reality, it's really not. It's just how he's perceiving it, especially when it comes to women. We've had to have a lot of work around that. They're not all women flirt. There are some women that are just really friendly, and they're not necessarily flirting with you, right? We've had
There's
this
guys
conversation.
who are like that too. Like I've noticed, and it is kind of confusing. It's like,
It is very confusing.
But
So-
what she's saying is kind of true. But what it's more in line of is, I don't think every woman's after me, and I'm like, I'm hot to trot.
No, I don't mean it like that.
And it's not just women. She identifies with that part of it, but like, I think everybody's like in sex mode. Like, we'll go to the gas station and somebody will hold the door for someone else, and I'll be like,
oh, well, I wouldn't consider that, but there's.
Oh, I see things, and I go, honey,
guys,
did you see how they did that? And she'll go, no, nobody would even notice that. And I'm like, well, I'm
See, I have the opposite. I have like the self-deprecating rather than just like, I just assume everybody hates me, and then if somebody likes me, it's like, hey, that's a nice surprise.
I have that about
Oh my God, you guys.
comics, because let's be honest, I've jumped in, we're 3 years into this.
Mhm.
I'm well aware that there are pros who have been doing it for 10, 20 years who they can come along and go, Mr. Tamulavich, you're not as good as you think. But that's not
the
what
word
it's
I'm kind of
about.
confused
You know what I'm saying?
with. Is a pro some like in the indie comic scene? Isn't a pro somebody who doesn't deliver books like on time, and then like somebody who's a hobbyist is somebody who delivers their books on time, sometimes every month?
I do find that weird that the hobbyists seem to be doing a better job of it. And you are kind of defining a lot of pros that I know that have gone indie.
Yeah, because that's why I get so confused with the term pro, because it doesn't.
But a pro in
they
general
seem to be the people who do the comics full time, but they don't. Maybe they kind of wish they didn't or
But
something.
when I say pro, I must admit I think of Frank Miller, John Byrne, Chris Claremont.
Oh yeah.
Guys who
They're
could turn
actually
out a dozen books.
professional.
Well, not a dozen, but 2 or 3 books a month that would kick anything
Oh,
that
that's
you see in the
incredible.
market today.
So it wasn't just one book a month either.
Not
which
usually.
is-
Remember,
Which is,
maybe
I mean, that's incredible. That somebody could even put out one book a month.
John Byrne was a machine like Kirby, maybe not quite as prolific, but like Kirby. And Miller, I don't know how many books. Miller was kind of different because he would hire artists and write books, which is something I could see myself doing, because as much as I love my art, I would love to see different styles with some of my stories as well. And I see some artists who are so talented, they can go, today I'm going to do an anime, and tomorrow I'm going to do a copy of, Da Vinci, and then the next day I'm going to do this style. And That's not me. I'm lucky to have the
Yeah.
style I have.
What
That's
I
not so
thought was
bad if you have
incredible was
reference.
Kirby would have these elaborate pencils, but then there was that other guy who often inked a lot of his stuff, and then he would just like erase a lot of that, or he just wouldn't ink that.
But I love
the
it. You know what I
details.
love about that story is it speaks to the industry. The industry didn't care and still doesn't. Honestly, the big boys don't care how you're doing your art. They don't care what
Yeah.
you do to it, so long as it's on the press when they say it's due.
Yeah.
so they
It
can
was like
break up
the
their-
deadline.
Yeah, he would just.
The
You've
guy
heard
was
about
really
that, right,
good at making
Chase?
deadlines, so that's why he was there.
What's that?
So he's talking about a guy who used to ink Jack Kirby's work. Right now, Jack Kirby is like a legendary Marvel artist from the '60s. And instead of like inking all the work, if he was running on a deadline and running behind, he'd just like start leaving people out of the crowd. So instead of having 8 people in the crowd, there'd be
a bunch of characters in the background.
he'd
And
like
to greatly simplify things.
or silhouette everybody in the background instead of the details.
I wonder if some of that though is just like him looking at it and being like, I need to increase the readability and take out the extra, because there's something to be said for like you can put detail into everything, but you need some of that chaos versus calm.
That would be good, except I think the guy actually admitted to it.
Well, some of the time it was like necessary details, like I think like if it was like say a science fiction thing and he got a sci-fi comic and he was like erasing the technology or whatever. I mean, I think he did things like that.
If he were smart, he would have. If he were smart, he would have said he was doing it for composition and tried to come up with like I noticed that this quadrant of the frame was really busy and it was hard to focus on the subject, so I focused on the subject and left this part out so that you would have your eye drawn.
That was kind of the beauty of 60s comics, because a lot of it didn't have any idea what it was doing, so they were just kind of, okay, we got to squish this story into 22 pages, and that's why you'd get boxes that were nothing but text, where they'd drop so much story in one paragraph because they only had 4 pages left and still had a battle left, so they had to tell, boom, this much story, just boom. It was so cool the way they had to do it.
I think it's
you say it's so cool, and I think, oh, that sounds awful.
It does sound awful to me. I do think it's incredible how much detail Kirby. I know he was just doing the pencils; he wasn't inking it as well. But he was just like going to just such detail with it.
Well, his pencils were incredible too, though. Like even though he wasn't inking all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was before all the sci-fi that we have now. Like a lot of guys I know will just reference things and change it up a little. And basically you're looking at, something they've already seen, where Jack was actually kind of creating from scratch. A lot of things hadn't really been done yet. And he'd use influences, like he loved using Inca influences, the Maya and the Incans and all those types. But
didn't Kirby create a lot of stuff that was that people now say, well, wait a second, he didn't always get the credit. Sometimes Stan Lee would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Jack is known for being ripped off, I think.
I'm looking at some of his pencil stuff now. It's really great.
And if you look at his different eras, it's funny because he started off in, I think, the 30s and 40s. And when he was young, he was more realistic. And then as he got older, his work got really blocky and almost ugly. When I was a kid, I hated it. But now that I'm old and I look back at it, I really have a deep appreciation of it.
Yeah, I love things that are simplified like this.
Yeah, it has a whole new...
Yeah, I wondered. So that was actually a later style of his, the blockier stuff.
I love these larger scenes where. So I was talking about the composition earlier, but like when they are busy like this, I personally like this stuff because I like to look through and find all the details and take in the story of a scene. But that's like where Kay and I disagree when she reads her comics and stuff, and I watch her just like scroll through 3 pages a minute, and I'm like, you didn't even stop to examine all, like, you didn't follow the action lines, and you didn't check in the background and the foreground. And Because when I
Well,
read comics or manga, that's what I do. Like, I literally go through like every panel. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's like a bench back here, and then there's a trash can, and this guy's walking over to it, and
you know
but
what's affected me about you is knowing that you're going to see the work that I'm doing now. And you can ask Diana. I'm taking, where it used to take me a day to do 3 pages, I'm
won't
doing
say,
it
but
about a
yes.
page a day now. It's much better in terms of something will settle and I like it, and then the next day I'll go back and go, yeah, but I need to redo this panel. That's bad, or I need to reposition that, or recolor it, or whatever it is. And it's because I know Jace is going to be somewhere in the near future going, Dad, what the hell is that?
Knowing that someone's going to look at your art does a lot for your revision process.
Speaking of
Yes.
Jace, may I just compliment you? I was looking at what was it? Tumblr? No, not Tumblr. What?
Instagram.
Yes.
That one. And wow, your stuff is awesome. It's very relevant. You're very relevant. I love that. I said that to your dad. I said, he is going to do super, super, super good because you're very relevant to your contemporaries, to the kids that look at your stuff. Yeah.
Do you remember the girl that's in the all white with the blood all over the place?
Yeah.
The character that Krista and I like. And I was like, I know Krista won't see this because she doesn't use her Instagram ever. So I just texted it to her, and she sent a thing back with some feedback and compliments. And it's like, oh, this is like the best feeling when one of your art role models is like, oh, I really love how you did this.
See, I'm not crazy. It's just not the mom and me complimenting you. It really is good.
That was one of those things where I was like, I know that I'm planning on showing this to my professor. I'm considering as using it as my final. I've got a couple pieces I'm working on because we have to do like one from imagination figure drawing final thing. So I was like, all right, if this is going to be my final, like the lighting needs to be good, the shading needs to be there. I need a background that has some composition. Like it can't just be another character in a white void.
Exactly. You got to have a little bit more depth. I really like it. Very
now that
good.
my last 3 have had backgrounds, I'm like, I got to stop putting stuff that's just a character in a white void because it looks like shit when you look at all your squares together. Funnily enough, though, I picked up a lot of stuff at my last class because I showed something I did in 2019, and professor was giving me some feedback about the composition and how I should have done this and this, and I was like, oh well, that's something I worked on in 2019, but I think that's all really relevant still because I don't do a lot of background stuff. He was like, wait, this is from before class? Like,
that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, but he gave me really good feedback about how to use lighting and composition better. And now I'm like, all right, this is where we're gonna hit the next level other than just like cleaning up proportions.
So let me ask about drawing streams and availability. You prefer to do them earlier?
Yes, because I'm old and I like to sleep, and I usually get up at 5:30 or 6. Try to get my morning, get ready, bring the dog out, have breakfast, take a shower. I have to leave home by 8, and then I'm not back until about 5.
Yeah.
And my job sucks, so I don't get breaks or lunch. I just get driving to my next client.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So then when it's like, we're going to stream at 8:30, I'm like, 8:30 is bedtime, so I can get ready to run myself into the ground again.
No, I know. I'm
still looking for alternatives on that, but
well, I want to start doing some drawing streams. I've got a setup just about perfect now. And I'm not against doing them earlier. I just need to know when, and I'll set up availability.
Well, I thought we might do one tonight, but I was kind of relieved that it wasn't quite set up because I was also passing out on the couch, and
I was just afraid of stopping her Zoom because she was in Zoom with a client, and they were streaming a movie too that they had synchronized between the two of them. And I'm like, I don't want to run in a stream while all that's going on.
No, I stayed up till 3 on accident working on something the other night the art we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And then I woke up tired, and then last night I was accidentally up until 1 working on a piece again, and then I was like, oh shit, it's 1, I got to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I woke up at 9 this morning, but we had to leave for 10 to go see my friend for her birthday, and then I was like, oh boy, I'm beat. So when I got
I
home,
am too. I'm like, I'm going to bed.
yeah, we got home and Kay went out to get a pedicure with her friend, and I was like, well, I'm gonna nap on the couch with the dog, but then the dog was like, no, you're not. We're gonna get up and go in the backyard, and I'm gonna ring the bells, and I'm gonna chase the cat. So I really wanted to stream, but I was also like trying
Really
to keep my
tired.
eyes open.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's how I
I
feel
did. I
tonight.
wasn't feeling it either. I need to be feeling it, and I don't know if that makes sense. But I've been doing so much drawing period that I was like, yeah, maybe tonight's not the night. And it was like, okay, there's a good excuse not to. So I was quick to quit. But I'm quick to go too. I'm ready. I'm like, all right,
So,
tomorrow,
Jace, give your
Friday,
dad some
Saturday.
times when you would be available, and he'll.
And you
match
can
it.
think about it too, because I might just
Yeah.
start doing stuff, and you can jump in if you're available or not.
Mm.
Terry, if you're still watching, you're always welcome to come on. I know you do some sort of document camera when you do it.
I'm really nervous about drawing on a stream because I think I'm gonna have to face like all the bad habits I have. Like, I rest my palm on the iPad too much. I really should be drawing up here more and not putting my elbow and palm down. I realize I rotate my canvas, but also like the iPad itself all the time. So I'm gonna have to like stop picking it up and turning it and rotating it here. Because I did a test stream once and I was like, that looks awful on stream. You just see a canvas moving nonstop.
Mine, I keep mine stationary now. The angle used to be like this, and now it's like this. I've actually greatly increased the angle, but it's helped my comfortability. It's reduced muscle cramping.
I think for an art stream, I would really have to embrace like proper canvas up, drawing from your elbow and shoulder.
And there's also specific exercises you can do as an artist. You should look them up.
Yeah, I need to go back to some of my fundamentals, like just practicing the hatching in circles and because as you start to get into more exciting things, you forget to work on your fundamentals. Like my vertical lines are great, but if I have to go horizontally across the page, I have like the hardest time. I'm just like, I'll just turn it.
I'll just turn it. My vertical lines are good. Hey guys, I wanted to let you know that Carlos was in the Facebook chat and he likes your haircut, Chris. And John, and then because I hadn't checked it in a little bit, John Scungio, Scungio is in there too. I don't know if you know him. I don't know.
Hello, John.
So they were in
see
there.
any of this.
It's in Facebook. It doesn't pop up in the comments here yet. That's why we'll be leaving StreamYard soon because their service is not really up to snuff.
Well, that's weird because my Facebook comments I can see on the chat.
Yeah, it doesn't broadcast like the way it should though. Like we see everything from YouTube, and she has to go over to Facebook to see the Facebook.
Yeah, and that's where I put comics. Yeah,
I've got like the private chat and the comments on the side. And under comments, I can see like my wave and I responded when you said you weren't sending the link out. And then I see a bunch of YouTube, but I don't see any other Facebook after mine.
That's so weird. And I can't, if I comment in Facebook, you guys don't see my Facebook comments. So there must be a setting that maybe I need to.
It seems like if you're using, if one's using StreamYard and it comments in the comments section of StreamYard, it shows up, on YouTube and Twitch, but not Facebook. Is that what you're saying? Because I've had that problem before. I mean,
hey, look at that! It's contagious.
I'm sorry. I'm just really tired.
Okay, you know what though? It is
Knox.
9:30, and I really need to get some sleep myself. I'm working, even though all of the district is on vacation.
I took this week off so Kay and I could have the week off together. But it took forever for them to approve my PTO, so we didn't get an Airbnb like we planned. So now
I was going to say that's right. You guys were supposed to.
Yeah, we were going to get an Airbnb and go out for the like a long weekend, but they didn't approve my PTO until the week before the vacation, and before that they were like, we have to see if we can approve it, so we didn't bother reserving something.
Oh my god, that's awful. I hope you let them know that.
I think you guys froze on my end. Oh, there we go.
I think
now Lorenzo, I just want to mention, has a show on Thursday nights at 8:00. I always love to plug it.
Tomorrow 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
5 Pacific.
Any guests tomorrow night?
Not sure.
No, I mean, like last time you did a music composer, didn't you?
Yeah. Mr. Matt, or his channel's Matthew Rogers, but there's a gazillion Matthew Rogers channels. So
It's a popular name. I thought about changing
Yeah.
my name to Matthew Rogers once.
what would you say about your new Matthew Rogers?
Yes, I wanted that name, but I decided not to change it to it because all my friends were doing it.
There you go. Why not? It's like John Smith or whatever.
You know what name I would like though? Buck Rogers. I've
Yeah,
always
yeah.
loved Buck
And
Rogers.
taken.
Yeah, there's somebody on YouTube who goes by that name. I'm trying to think of what the other name he goes by. I'm a member of his Discord. Yeah, but he's a bit of a troll though.
I'm yawning so much I'm starting to tear up, and it's not tears of joy or sadness. It's literally the yawn.
Yeah.
So check out Lorenzo tomorrow at 8. We have
Thanks.
God Chats Monday at 8. And anybody's welcome, just not pornographic freaky guys that show stuff online.
Yeah,
And,
I don't quite get that. I mean, it doesn't really. I don't think.
Yeah,
that
it was
really
weird,
adds
bro.
to the show.
It was someone who was just mad at God, so it was a lot of venom, but so yeah, it's what it is. But we'd still do it on Monday at 8. And that's it. That's the show for tonight, guys. I'm gonna end the broadcast. Anybody want to say goodnight, Diana?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Diana.
Sorry, I'm
Chris,
falling asleep.
And Jace. Good night, audience.
Good night, guys.